I'm good, my friend. And you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Doi tashimashite, as they would say in Japanese.
They would?
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
would? Like all of the Japanese or just
Just the polite ones.
the West Coast? All right. We're live with the whole Facebook.
Community.
Hold on.
Sure.
Talk to the folks. Silverman's here. Look serious. Hold on.
Well, hello, everybody. Let's listen in and find out what's going on in Orlando. I'm just teasing. Hey, hope everyone's doing great. We are
All right.
starting
I'm back.
June. Oh, he's back. See that? Look at that. That's it.
So Tass, yeah, zip it. All right, go ahead. Talk to us, Tass.
No, I was just, telling everybody how we're starting June, starting the last month of the second quarter. So I know a lot of people had a lot of success for the first quarter. And was that, well, am I supposed to button up? Is that what that was for?
That was a sign. Yeah, signal.
Oh, okay. I know a lot of you are, Father Tassoul will tell you a little story here in a second and preach.
No, dude, it wasn't a sign.
A lot of you had a great first quarter, which is fantastic. And in a lot of business, right? Sometimes people oscillate where they have a fantastic month and then they have a horrible month. And so we want to make sure that we're not in oscillation mode from the first quarter to the second quarter. And, go back and look at your first quarter numbers. If you were over, fantastic. That's in the rearview mirror. That's past us. Don't start counting that stuff toward your second quarter. Where are we at apples to apples, second quarter of last year to second quarter this year? And what do we need to do to make up for it? If we need to make up for it for the month of June. And a lot of clients I'm talking to, and it's only the 3rd today of June. A lot of clients are off to a great start for June as well, which is so great to hear. And let me just throw this out there. I think I've chatted a little bit about, the industry and said, hey, look, there's so many people. There's like 70, 80% of the industry we hear are having record years and record months. And we were waiting and like it wasn't happening for us, right? And it wasn't happening because part of that is we all need new leads. We all need new students. And that just, we couldn't get it dialed in. And I don't know if it was a timing thing or whatever, but long story short, that really kicked in last month. So for those of you that are in places where you may not have seen that big pop yet, there is hope for you. You just need to stay diligent and stay moving forward and stay progressing and keep your marketing out there and things are going to open up. So that's coming from a guy who was struggling with our area open up, and we're seeing more leads in the month of May. And I'll go on a limb here. We saw more leads in May than we probably had combined January through April, which is unbelievable.
More leads than you even know.
Very true. But I know now.
I know, yes, you do. So Tass, the topic of the show is, how to have a record enrollment. What can you do to have a record enrollment in summer? And I think we talk a lot about concept and philosophy as we've gotten into the details of this in the summer planning thing that we did, the meetings that we did this week. But I think for the industry, how do we simplify things to get them to understand that you could have record enrollment during the summer? And what we always talk about, and this is what I tell people, summer is a transitional time, and we lose the most students going into summer, coming out of summer, and over the holidays. Those 3 times a year is when you see the biggest drop off with students because routines change, but it's often disguised by the amount of enrollments that you get. But if you don't get the enrollments, then you really see a drop. And this is why traditionally, summertime, people would see revenue go down in the summer, students not be there, because not only were they getting students to go away on vacation or leave or quit or take a break or not renew, but they weren't getting a lot of new students in. and there's a philosophy of how you get new students in. And Tass, I think with the basic philosophy, we should tell them, first of all, understand the difference between putting out an enrollment offer and a trial offer, and what the point of the trial offer is. And then just the concept of, why do some people get trials but not conversions in this industry? And how can you up your percentages on converting these trials? But why should I put out a trial offer as opposed to, enroll now and save $100 on your program, or, whatever an enrollment offer may be.
Sure.
So why don't you take it from there? And
sure. Let me back up one step, and you may say this is more concept, but I think it's so important. And I mentioned on one of the things, I mentioned this as well, but mindset is so important, right? I mean, if you keep asking yourself, well, or telling yourself every summer we struggle, or why do we struggle so much in summer? You're going to continue to find reasons why. And I think if I use the example of a vehicle, you buy a new to you vehicle, whether that's a new or new to you vehicle, and you're excited about it, and then all of a sudden everywhere you turn, you see that vehicle on the road, right? This is something common that happens. Well, they've been there the entire time. It's just you haven't noticed them, right? It's your reticular activation system, or whatever they call it.
The RAS.
There you go. That's the yes. Very good, Metz.
Thank you.
That's the idea behind it. Or some of you guys that are school owners, I know we have small school owners, so you guys kind of do everything. You're the owner, the instructor, the chief janitor, the everything, right? But for those of you that have staff and you lose a staff member, isn't it interesting oftentimes how fast you can get that staff member replaced? Well, they were there the whole time. It's just we didn't have the need. And so all of a sudden we have the need, and our lens, so to speak, changes, and we find someone to fill that position. I guess what I'm trying to say is, have the lens right now of getting bodies on your floor. Like, that's got to be the mindset, and that's got to be the vision. And how can I get more bodies on my floor? And what can we do? And then how can we get those bodies on the floor to turn from a trial into a student? So yeah, there's a difference between enrollment offers and trial offers. And I think a good example, we have a neighborhood magazine, a community color mailer it's called, or the Money Saver. And sometimes you see things in there like $500 off, right? Well, $500 off of what? Like, I don't even know what that is. Is it off of 1,000? Is it off of 15,000? I don't know what that is. And our goal, enrollment offers, there's a time and a place for them. But we like to use summer to disguise our marketing, but to disguise the marketing with a trial offer. We're not trying to get someone an enrollment offer online. We're gonna cast a much shallower net, because you're only appealing to people that may be ready to make the decision to get their child enrolled in martial arts, as opposed to, hey, what summer activities could I potentially try or do for my kids? And there's soccer, there's baseball, there's t-ball, there's dance, there's all these things. Hey, martial arts might be kind of cool. I might not be ready to enroll yet, but I may want my child to try that out. So some of us, years ago, we got caught up on 6-week trials, and that's all we ever do is this six weeks for $69 or whatever the trial is. And you can do that all year long. That's fine. But whenever you have the opportunity to change your marketing, or disguise your marketing, it's a good opportunity to do that. As a matter of fact, I was talking to my mom, and there's this lotion for your hands, like for people that have really dry hands, right? It's called like working hands. The same company has something for your feet. Well, it's a completely different name on the product, right? So they're two separate products, but when you look at the ingredients, they're exactly the same. And that's marketing. That's disguising the marketing so that they can sell the hand cream and they can sell the foot cream, even though the ingredients are all exactly the same. So what we like to do for a trial, right, is disguise our marketing with train all summer for X dollars, right? Whatever you want that to be. And you could do it for $99, $79, $149. We've got clients that are in a marketplace. They've been booming, enrolling a lot of students for the last 5 months here, and having record enrollments. They don't need necessarily to do a low barrier offer to fill their floor, because they may not have as much room. They get away with charging $249 as an example. So you got to figure out what's best for you in your area. But if you're lacking students, just know that the lower price point is going to get more bodies on your floor. I don't care about the trial special. That's not my goal. I just want bodies on my floor so that I can show them and we can show them what it is that the values and benefits of our program, see if it's something their child's going to enjoy, and then eventually get them converted. So again, there's a difference between an enrollment offer where you're trying to get the enrollment versus a trial, which is the goal is to scoop up as many people as we can right now and get them on our floor and get them trained in our classes. So those are the two different offers. Metz, anything you want to add to that before we go on?
Well, yeah. So with the offers, you know, you may be sitting here saying, well, I'm not very savvy in social media. I can't afford to hire somebody to do the social media for me. So you got to take a back seat or take a step back and look at it from a bird's eye view and say, well, how can I get people in my community? And there's two ways. It's either sweat equity, right? Or open the checkbook, right? Or money, as Tass says, right? Those are the two ways. If we don't have the money, then we gotta put boots on the ground, so to speak, right? But then you may say, well, I have a full-time job. How do I do that? Depending on your goals, right? And what you want out of your martial arts business, you may have Saturday or Sunday available, right? So when do you have time to market or go into your community? Let's pretend you work a full-time job 7 days a week and you have no time to go out in your community. The problem is still there. How do I get bodies in the building? Well, then you shift down to, well, all I'm focused on is external marketing, but how can I do internal marketing? How can I get the community to come to me? Well, you have to understand, there's a very small percentage of people, not everyone is interested in martial arts, or it's not even on the forefront of their mind. So what can you do to get the community to come to you, right? And there's several things you can do. You can do free community events, but when you market a free community event, you got to market it as you are the host of this free community event. You don't want to do a free community event and it's a martial arts free community event because I said not many people are interested or they don't believe they're interested in martial arts, right? Now we can get them interested, but that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to get people to your facility is what we're trying to do first, right? So if you do internal marketing, what can you do? We could say, look, we want to host a free summer safety seminar for all the kids in the community. If you cater to kids, that's an example. We're going to host a free summer self-defense class for all the parents, adults in my school, and I'm going to give them each 3 passes where they can invite 3 friends from work, neighbors, family members, and I'm going to promote it as we're going to cover some basics that will help you feel safer this summer, especially if you're going to be traveling, hitting the beaches, and we're doing a free self-defense. My point is, well, that's interesting to me. You're going to get more people to come to something like that than if you tried to market to adults, try out martial arts classes, right? So you got to understand sweat equity and paying money. Then you got to understand external marketing and internal marketing. But keep your eye on the problem that we have. The problem is I don't have enough people coming in the door. How do we solve that problem? Tass, what do you want to add as far as how we can solve that problem? And assuming that people are saying, well, I hear you about the offers, but I don't have money. I don't know social media. I can't afford to pay somebody. How do we still get bodies, whether we give them the example of like the events, we talked about it. What else can we do to get bodies in our school this summer?
Yeah, the other thing that you can do, this is going to be on the retention side, right? But also on the recruit, and whenever we can combine the 3 R's that we always talk about, right? Retention, recruitment and revenue, we try and do that, right? And there's a time and place for all those things. But, one of the things that we also know, and Metzger said it, we lose the most amount of students during summer. Well, how can we keep those students? Well, this is so simple. You put together a 2-week attendance contest in your school. And every time the kids come to class, they get a ticket. And don't overthink like you got to go get some software to create this fancy ticket. You go to Staples or Office Max or Depot or whatever your local office store is. You pick up a roll of red or blue raffle tickets and you bring them to your school. And you put it, if you really want to make it easy, you put a Tupperware up front if you don't have a fishbowl, right? But you get a fishbowl too. And every time the kid comes to class, they're going to put their first and last name on the ticket, and they get to put it in the fishbowl. Okay. So let them know, guys. You know, and you can do the presentation thing, but I'll give you the concept. We're running an attendance contest, and for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever you want to do, every time you come to class, you're going to get to put your name on a ticket, and you're going to get to enter in the ticket. And then after the 3 weeks is up, we're going to pick 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, whatever you want to do, right? But 5, in this case, 5 people. We're going to pick 5 winners, and the winners are going to receive a pizza party for you and up to 5 of your friends. That pizza party is going to be on X date at X time. So please understand, we're not doing, this is for me talking to you guys, not the students. We're not doing a separate pizza party for all 5 of these people. It's one pizza party for all 5 students, and each of them can invite up to 5 friends each, right, to this pizza party. It's 1 hour on a Friday night, and I would be bold enough to say, if you can't make the pizza party because you're going to be out of town, then don't put your name in the raffle. Like, you can say that, right? And because you want people that are going to be there that can actually come to your party. The 2 weeks of the attendance contest goes by. You pick out your 5 winners. You let them know they won, and you should have a minimum of at least a week. Probably 2 weeks is better, but a week between at the end of the drawing to when you actually have that party, so that those people can invite their friends and they can make time to be able to come in. Let's just say they only bring in 3 people each, right? Well, 5 people with 3 friends each is 15 new students that you just put in your school for like 3 large pizzas. I mean, you spend an hour with them, you do a pizza party, you do some martial arts. At the end, you have your students actually break a real board. We've gone through this before, but who else wants to break a board? Geez, I'm sorry, guys. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time for everyone to break a board, but I promise, who wants to break a board? Well, listen, if you really want to break a board, I promise I will get in contact with your parents. I'll schedule time for you guys to come in and break a board. But that last detail is extremely important. And then I would say, come up to me after class. I'm going to put your name on a board. I'm going to tell you this, and Metzger's going to laugh at me, but write their name on the corner of the board, ask for their phone number, and do it in pencil. I mean, why do I say that? Because I instructed people to do this, and then I see the boards, and they've got big black Sharpie written across the entire board, and then for whatever reason, they don't get a hold of them. But that last part is so important, because here's what clients will say. Yeah, we've done the pizza party, it doesn't work. We've done buddy days, they don't work. It's because you didn't have the right offer. And if you do everything I said, you do the 2-week attendance contest, you pick your 5 winners, they all bring 5 friends, and they just come in and have a pizza party and do martial arts, and there's no call to action, there's no offer, it will never work. And that's because you didn't work your crowd, and you didn't know how to get those people excited to come back to your school. So that last detail, everybody hears the first 90%, then they check out because, like, well, we've done this, it doesn't work. But the last 10% is where you're going to make all your revenue, because now you have a reason these kids are excited. They want to come back. They want to break their board. That, of course, turns into your intro lesson. Then you go for the enrollment. If they don't enroll, you can fall back to the trial. So that's another. It took longer for me to explain it than it is actually for you for you guys to do it. So,
and by the way, please listen to the concept, because for you guys who don't break boards or BJJ schools, the concept is just getting the kids excited once they show up for the event to want to now get their parents to take advantage of your trial offer that you had, because now all these kids that never even thought of martial arts, well, if you plan a really fun, exciting class and you have an anchor, for example, board breaking, or they want to come back to break the board, but it doesn't have to be that. If they have a really fun and exciting class, we still get their information, and we'll give them half off our summer trial offer that's going on because they came to the class, if they have mom or dad, or if they set an appointment with us in the next week. That's a call to action. This is the concept of this, but this is just an easy way. I mean, literally tonight, You can make announcements in class. We're going to be raffling off 5 winners for a free pizza party that we're going to do Friday, June blank at 7:00. I mean, you could start that tonight. And Tass said 3 kids. What if the average student only brought 2? What if you pick 10 winners, right? And they only bring 2. You got 20 leads in your school for the summer, right? For doing nothing. And by the way, not much sweat equity and very little money, because like he said, the cost is just, maybe you want to feed these kids the pizza, whatever that may cost. So you got to understand the concept. So that's one simple example. And by the way, once you come up with an example like that, what he just gave you was, well, how can I use the students that I have to help bring traffic into my school without me sounding like I'm trying to recruit them to be my sales force? Well, that's an example right there. So if you start asking yourself these questions, you can come up with a lot of different ideas and unique ideas to get people in your school with very little to no money. But you could do this with the adults as well. You could just do it on a self-defense side of things, right? So
that's and that's what we would call a net activity, right? It's really no extra time. You're teaching classes, they're filling out the thing, they're putting in the fishbowl. Your work on it is going on Amazon to order the tickets and have them delivered to your door. Your work is, I gotta actually pick 5 winners, which takes 30 seconds. And your work is, I've got to do a pizza party on a Friday night for 1 hour. That's your work. So for those of you that do have full-time jobs, this is very, very it's not very labor intensive, right? It's very low labor that you need to do to be able to pull this off.
And by the way, when you say pizza party, if you guys do not do a structured, fun martial arts class, then you're going to come on this show and say that didn't work for us at all. We had 15 people show up and nobody enrolled. And then we would say, well, what did you do at your party? And you're going to say, well, they played dodgeball and they ran around. And well, that has nothing to do with selling the value and benefit of martial arts classes. So you have to do a pizza party, but it's all based around martial arts and a fun, engaging martial arts class. And then they can have their pizza, at the end of class or whatever. However, when we do pizza, and here's another tip for you guys. If you ever do a parents' night out or something, right, where you allow students to bring friends to a parents' night out if you work with kids, right?
That was good. You were like you're in my head.
Oh, were you going to say this? Yeah. Even though I didn't even say it yet.
The structure of the party and when you teach what you do.
Right. You got to make sure that the last 20 minutes or 30 minutes, you're doing some martial arts. Because when parents of non-students are coming to the building to pick up their kids, if you're just throwing a dodgeball around or they're sitting at a table playing with their phones eating pizza, mom or dad's going to walk in and say, Johnny, let's go get your stuff. And they're going to get their stuff and they're going to leave. If mom or dad walks in and they're in the middle of a martial arts class, they're more apt to have a seat and sit down for a minute and watch and wait for a break in the class before they want to pull their child out. And a lot of times they won't. So now what you're doing is you're showing the structure and the values and benefits to the parent, okay, for when they come and pick up their child, which is just another very important detail. And Tass, we're saying this out loud, but this is exactly what we need to point out to people, because people that will, in our industry, will say, well, I've done that, it doesn't work. I've done referral programs, they don't work. Do you understand the details of this? This is like someone saying, I did a parents' night out, it just didn't get me students, right? But they're running around like crazy because it's the last 10, 15 minutes and you're just waiting for the kids to get picked up and you're just letting them have free time, and parents are coming into a romper room and seeing chaos.
Right.
And there's no value or benefit to what your child may have done when the parent wasn't there watching. So these are the details that you have to understand. You always got to ask yourself, what is the reason I'm doing this event or this thing, whatever I'm doing? At the end of the day, your reason should be to recruit new students, retain them, and generate revenue. The problem is is in this industry. We've been brainwashed, not brainwashed, but we've been so focused on somebody in the industry will teach you how to do an event, right? And all you're doing is getting revenue, a short pop of revenue. It's not long-term revenue. Long-term revenue is recruiting a new student or retaining a student longer. So there's just a lot of details that you guys have to understand. And before you jump in, can you offer guidance and perspective on when you wear uniform or school polo and khakis at community events? We're always in uniform at a community event, Mr. Johnson, because the community event is just a disguise of our marketing. We're getting them to our school to do an actual class, fun, engaging class. But if I say we're doing a free community event on summer safety, well, what are we doing? We may give out 10 tips, go over 10 tips while teaching some basic self-defense and a fun martial arts class on how to stay safe this summer. I'm just disguising it, but my job is to expose the community on the values and benefits of your school of martial arts. So we're always in uniform. We're not in khakis. We're just not ever. Okay. Pass. Yeah. So do you have pizza in the middle of the event? Yeah, you could do pizza in the middle of an event. For a pizza party that's 1 hour, right? And by the way, I know what you're thinking. Well, how do you have pizza and then do a martial arts class? Because the goal is not to kill the kids. You're not having pizza and then saying, okay, let's start running laps and doing burpees.
And it's not to kill the kids with pizza either, so don't let them have 4 big slices of pizza.
Right, triple cut that pizza. But yes, if you do a pizza party, you may want to make it 90 minutes to 2 hours, right? We're giving you the concept here. A parent's night out for us is typically 4 hours, 7 p.m. to 11. And then, yes, in the middle, they will eat some pizza, and then we get them back on the mat. So when people are coming in, they're seeing structure. Okay. All right.
Yeah, just Mr. Johnson, to your point and your question, just be mindful. I read it too fast, but I saw school in there. But when you go to the elementary schools and you're dealing with in like a professional environment, we're having meetings, that's when you would wear khakis in your school t-shirt, right? It's just weird to go to the elementary school, talk to a principal in your martial art uniform. So that's when you would do that. But yes, community events, you always wear a uniform. Here's another. You what?
I don't think so.
No, that's fine.
No, I wear full gi.
Because you like the attention and people.
Well, what's weird is when I walk in, I ask everyone to stand and bow.
Yes, please.
That gets a little weird because they're just not used to the culture.
And they say, that wasn't good enough. Let me hear you slap those sides. Attention. Now,
right.
Again.
Right. And then I say, to me. Anyway, no, please don't wear your karate outfit to go meet with anybody in the community. Don't wear the kung fu slippers. Don't wear the baggy pants. And by God, Mr. Hackelman, do not wear the fanny pack.
Oh my God, you're funny.
I just got off the phone with John. I love him.
That's so funny.
Go ahead.
Well, hey, listen, here's a nugget, kind of expand off of what Metzger was just talking about earlier. If you were a parent and you walked in, and again, I'm using the kids as an example, right? He gave you the self-defense thing for adults. I'm doing the tennis contest for kids, right? But you walk into a martial arts school as a parent, and you're there to pick up your kid, and you see dodgeballs flying, your kid getting upset because, no, it didn't hit me, I'm not sitting out, and you see this whining, this arguing, this complaining, or you see just dodgeballs, crossing over the floor, and parents are ducking because they're going to get hit with a dodgeball. There's that scenario, or there's the structured class scenario, and he said it, showing the values and benefits. But are you, if they walk into a structured martial art class and they're more apt to stay and sit down, you did step number 1. You've now got their attention. But now what are you delivering? If all you're doing is, okay, jab cross, right? Yeah. Good, front kick, good. Okay, now this. And you're just teaching recreational martial arts, was what I would call that, because there's no life skills there. That's a step better than just dodgeball because there is the structure. And at least I think in most schools, when we finish with activity, a lot of them are good. Attention, everyone says, yes, sir, or yes, ma'am, right? And so there's that structure. But here's 2 golden nuggets that you can implement into your intros, into any of your birthday parties, any events that you do like this. We always teach the 7 magic words that instantly get and give respect. The 7 magic words. So here's what we do. Metzger's writing them down. He's going to tell me, this isn't 7. So we have them go through them. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Please. Thank you. You're welcome. And we have them do the callback. So number 1, all right, 7 magic words. Everyone repeat after me. Everyone say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. You guys get the idea. Well, now as a parent, I'm listening to this. And then I'll talk about when you're at home and mom or dad asks you a question. Is it yeah or uh-huh or yep or okay, fine? Or is it yes, mom, yes, dad? And the parents are like, really? This is what they're teaching the kids? This is amazing. This is amazing. So that's one thing that you can do is teach the 7 magic words. The other thing is you can do the 3 rules of concentration, the 4 laws of razor sharp focus, whatever you want to call it, but it's focus your eyes, focus your mind, focus your body, right? Or it's focus your eyes, your ears, your mind, your body. Depending on which one you teach. If you've never heard those before, you can use those. But notice what I call that. So when I'm doing an activity, like we have an every door direct mail piece that's going to go out. Well, guess what I'm putting in there? We're going to teach your child the 7 magic words that instantly give and get respect. Well, what are those? Now they want to know, and so it's a compelling offer for them to come in and find out what is that stuff, right? Or I'm going to teach your child the 3 rules of concentration to increase their focus and make them have laser-like focus, whether that's at school or at home. Okay, well, how do they do that? Well, you got to come in and find out, right? But if I'm in an event like that, I'm going to teach those things because now the parents are hearing the 7 magic words. Focus my eyes, focus my mind, focus my body. Okay, guys, let me ask you a question. So let's talk about focusing your eyes. And as we come into summer, I need to think of my market. Right now, my market is my parents that are sitting in that lobby. It's not the school teacher, right? But if I'm at the school, my market's the school teacher. Who am I selling to? So I'm going to say, now listen, kids, when mom or dad are at home and they ask you to do something, where should you look? At your iPad or your game station, or should you stop with? That's why they make a pause button, kids. You hit pause, and where should you look? You should look them where? That's right, in the eyes. What about when your parents are talking to you, right? How do you focus your mind? Are you thinking about what's for dinner? Are you thinking about what you're going to be going to do next? Or are you listening to what they're saying and repeating it in your mind so that you know exactly what to do? And also, we have to listen with our ears. In order to do that, we have to make sure that our mouth is closed. Like, that's an example of me just rushing through it. But those are concepts that and values that you can show to a parent, whether they come in and watch dodgeballs being slung around. Not saying you can't do dodgeball, but just not at the end. Or they walk into that. Which one is a parent more apt to say, hey, can you give me more information about your program? That second way, of course, is the way that's going to happen. So that's the structure for your class. And I would do that in your intro lessons, by the way. I would do it in all of your parent night outs, any buddy days, all those type of things, because that's going to provide you a lot of value for your school. And then you got to be consistent. You can't just be a one and done. You got to also teach that in your classes after they get enrolled as well, right? So that's important.
So, Mr. Stewart, we are averaging 5 trials per day. We're capping at 6 per day and putting them on another day. Is that a bad idea? It's not a bad idea if you can't handle the amount of intros you're getting every day. The sooner you can get an appointment in the door, the better. So let's just say that, right? But not at the expense of not giving good service and customer service to those people. So if I had to put them on another day, I'd want to put them on the very next day, right? Some people will say you could double up appointments, but I wouldn't do that until I start getting like 4 days out. Then I may double up appointments because I don't want to get a week out on appointments, number 1. Number 2, Mr. Stewart, this is good for everybody. You know, with 5 trials a day, I'd love to know, like, what trials are they on, right? Are you saying that you have a trial offer? Go ahead, Pat.
I can answer that question. I mean, it's the 8-week summer special.
Okay. 8 weeks summer special. And if we're averaging 5 trials a day, does that mean 5 appointments a day? Or these people have already paid and they signed up for the trial and we're getting 5 trials coming in?
80. Yeah, and I don't think he put this out there for everyone to see. So 85 summer specials in the month of May. 85.
All right. So is he you work with Mr. Stewart, Tass, or you just
no? I just happen to know. I mean, I'm like this.
You just know the industry so well. You just know exactly.
Yes.
It's amazing. Well, you know that this is great. So 85 summer trials. But my question is if when he says I'm averaging 5 trials a day, that means we've signed up over the last 30 days or whatever, 150 trials
20,
or
20
2 weeks or whatever
20,
it is.
Yeah, 20 business days, right? So yeah, 85.
Okay. All right. So here's the question. What does his appointment book look like? This is what I said earlier in the show is it's not about the trials, right? It's about the conversions and how do we get them converted. And when you're averaging this many trials per day, well, if we're following a system here, you have to have, in his case, 85 progress check appointments set, like all in the next few weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, all in the next couple weeks. Can you handle that? Let's say you can't, because not only do you have these progress checks that you have to do, you also have more trials coming in, right?
Right.
What do we do? Tass, what do we do?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Well, there's a couple things you can do, right? Number one, you can stop presenting, because I have a sneaking suspicion that he's presenting the trial to everybody when they come in, because it's an easy sell to people. And I think he's also in an area that he's actually charging pretty good money for his trial. So I think he's doing very well with it. But he could easily, well, I'm not going to get in that deep of the weeds here, but he could easily make the transition to stop pitching the summer special, even if that's what they're coming in for. Go for the enrollment and then fall back to the summer special, especially seeing as you have 85 people right now that you already have on summer special. To keep doing those, you may want to just go in. And by the way, this is rule of thumb, like always, go for the enrollment, right? And then fall back to the trial if need be, number one. Number two, you may decide that you want to have a special event for all of your people that are on trial and put that on a Saturday. And you could essentially do a mass intro and knock out 20 or 25 of those people, those trials. Instead of a progress check, you knock them out all on a Saturday over 2 or 3 Saturdays, where you're getting 20, 25 enrollments every Saturday. Get them enrolled, and then we've got some breathing room to get back and meet with them and to find out why they're there, what they want to accomplish, how are they enjoying class. Because they're already enrolled now, we've got a little bit of breathing room, and we're not up against the clock. And that's
exactly the advice that I would give you. You set up a mass enrollment, like he said, so you can take a little bit of that off your plate. The other thing that I will tell you is if you're getting 85 summer trials, I'm thinking you're having more than 85 leads, right? So anybody who does not enroll on a trial, once that adds up to double digits, it may be every other week, right? Every 2 weeks. We want to let those people know we're running a free community event this Saturday. Would you like to bring Johnny down for the free event on goal setting, summer safety, focus seminar, whatever theme you want to put to that, right? Now, let's see. We have, what do you go over in the progress checks to help with conversion, Tass? Well, there's 3. I mean, I would just say, look, without getting into all the details, right, this is enough to get them enrolled, because there's a system on your program, the 4-step enrollment process. But why don't you just hit the 3 things to make the enrollment easy?
Well, if I knew them, I would hit them.
Yeah. So sorry, Mr. Hamlin. Next question.
No, hey, sir, listen, it's very easy, right? Number one, how are you enjoying the program, right? If this is for a child, how is your child enjoying the program? And then number 3 is, we got to go over, and this is something that you need to know of everybody when they come in for their very first appointment. What is the goal that we want them to accomplish? Why are the parents bringing them to us? Confidence, focus, discipline, respect. What is it? Well, Mrs. Smith, let me ask you, can you see how our program will really help out with X benefit over time, whether that's focus, confidence, discipline, whatever? And I'm going to give you a detail. That's a different question than have you seen a difference in your child's confidence? Because they may not have seen that yet. And I know some of us are like, wizards and magicians, and we can all do that. We know to every student that comes through our doors in the first class. But as a whole, that's not always a yes answer. And it's so important and imperative to understand. You got to ask questions you know the answer to. So when we ask a parent, have you seen a difference in your child's confidence? We don't know if that's yes or no. They may not have seen that. They may have, but I want a 100% yes answer. or to get as close to that as I can. So the question is, Ms. Smith, let me ask you, you guys have been coming to classes. Can you see how our program is really going to help to improve his confidence over time? And if we're delivering, if we're doing the drop in the values and benefits that we're supposed to be, they can absolutely see how that will benefit their child. Now, those are the 3 questions, but don't just be a robot and ask the 3 questions. Ask the questions and talk about and tell me more about each of those things. And that transitions you then to offer the opportunity for them to get enrolled today if they want to save some money.
But by the way, the point is you can't do anything he said. Everybody that comes in for a trial, whether it's 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 6 weeks, 2 weeks, you got to ask them, what would they like to see themselves or their child get out of this program? You got to get the answer to that, because that's going to help the conversion later. Okay. Tass, if you offer enrollment, do you give them the summer special discount? If they don't take it, do you still know? Yes, if somebody's coming in on a summer special, and they, yes, there's a way to pre-frame that, and you would tell them that if they know this is something they want to do, I'll tell you what we'll do. We could apply the $149 you're paying today for the summer special. I'll still give you that time. We could get you enrolled now. Your first payment will start in 8 weeks from now, or whatever that summer special is. So yes. However, if somebody's just coming in off the street and they don't mention the special, they don't know about the special, follow procedures and just go through your intro procedure and your enrollment procedure and get them enrolled. If they say, I got to think about it, or let me do this or do that, I will fall back on the summer special and say, why don't you do this? We do have a summer special out there. Space is limited, right? And you didn't have the coupon, or you didn't bring it up. But if you want to do that, we have a few spots left. This will give you a great opportunity to really see the values and benefits of the program. So go for the enrollment, because ultimately all these summer specials and trials, again, is just an extra step between where they're at now and being enrolled, right? So if you can get the enrollment and skip a step, do that, right?
To Mr. Stewart's credit, right? He's doing the 8-week summer special, and he's got 85 people as of yesterday, I believe it was, in 1 month, by the way. In the last 30 days that he's put. Am I boring you, Metz?
Yes, I'm just getting exhausted listening to this.
So hard. But he has 85.
This is nothing new for you. So why do you get so shocked?
I know. 85 people on this summer special. And he couldn't. This is hard. It's going to be hard for him to keep up with 85 trials over the course of 8 weeks. It's a lot of work, right? But to his credit, he took the advice and he did the summer special, which some of you say, well, that's just too long and it's too cheap and blah, all the excuses that we hear. Well, don't tell him it's not working. But he does have the time. Some of you are going to go, well, I'm not doing that. I'm doing a 2-week special or a 3-week special. Well, good. When your marketing starts to work and you've got 85 people that you got to deal with in 2 weeks, 85 in, it's going to be 85 out, because you cannot get those people converted. You don't have the time, which is why we talk about the duration of your trial is an important factor. And it's not for those of you that are going to be the haters and say, well, I do 2-week trials and they work great. Great. My guess is you're not enrolling 80 people a month, because it's very difficult to do that with a 2-week trial, right? So when your marketing works, that's when you're going to encounter a lot of problems. And that's where the challenge is. So
and the issue.
Metzger did this on the whiteboard in that office years ago, and I'll never forget. He drew a stick figure and said, this is the prospect. What is the goal? The goal is the enrollment. That's what we want to accomplish. And the more that we do here, and here, it's the more steps it takes to get to the enrollment. Ideally, we get them in, we get them enrolled, period. That's it. But if we have to do intro 1, intro 2, trial, progress check, because we got to build rapport, then that's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. And for most everybody, it's the easiest way to do it, because it allows you the opportunity to develop rapport with your people, because not everybody has the personalities of Metzger and I and can tell great jokes and build rapport within 3 minutes. So sometimes what happens is it takes you longer to do that, right? And you're trying to build rapport in 20 minutes to ask them for whatever it is, X dollars, $1,200 for the year, whatever you charge, right? So that's why people do the trials and create those steps, is to build more value and build the rapport, so that when they do ask them to make the commitment, it's a much easier ask, and the know, like, and trust factor, has gone up over those 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, whatever it is.
And Mr. Stewart says the issue is not losing the client experience for clients already on programs. We had 35 white belts in class yesterday. Well, listen, I don't know if it's summer yet where you're at, but the biggest mistake you can make is ignoring that problem. You need to call that out. You need to say, whoa, parents, we must be doing something right. We are so blessed that so many people want to train with us and learn martial arts, but we see these classes are getting huge. And as soon as summer hits in a week or two, now for us, it's already been summer for over a week, we're going to be adding some extra beginner classes. We're going to add some classes, and you need to do that. You need to do that. I don't care if it's an extra class on Saturday and you call these white belts and say, look, no pressure at all. UC classes are big. We did add a class on Saturday, and we're calling to see if there's anybody interested in wanting to make that their second class as opposed to Thursday, for example. And even if you got 10 kids, well, now you don't have 35 in that second class. You have 25, right? Even if just 10 move over to that Saturday. If I can start a little earlier, being that it's summer, a lot of us will say, well, we can't because parents are working, but not all parents are working. If I have at least 20 or 15 parents or 10 parents that don't work, well, there's 10 kids that can come to this earlier class, which eliminates 35 in that. So you have to add some classes, but you got to call it out and recognize it. So parents say, oh, he's aware of it. Because if you don't, people will just complain and say, it's just getting ridiculous there. They can't pay attention. They can't do this. They're not seeing everybody. Call it out. Okay. That's important. And then, does that devalue the 3-week appointment? And I'm assuming you're talking about if you get them enrolled right now, does that devalue the 3-week appointment? We wouldn't be doing that we wouldn't be doing that 3-week appointment if we get them enrolled. We'd be switching over to, for example, a 246 procedure or something that we do to check up on our new students once they enroll, as opposed to that 3-week progress check, which is for getting the enrollment. We would do something different if they're already enrolled, if that's the question. Oh, if they don't? Oh, yeah, if they don't enroll. No, not at all. No. He's saying, okay, so what he's saying is if I present the enrollment, they don't do it, and we say, look, let's get you on the summer special, does it devalue the 3-week appointment? No, it does not, because they're going to have say, you know what I'd like to do? Being that you weren't ready to enroll today or you wanted to think about it, and I want you to try out the summer special, I'd like to meet with you in 3 weeks to see how Johnny's liking it, how you're enjoying it. If you can see the values, get some feedback. We'll give you some feedback on how he or she is doing. When can we set that up? And then you want to make sure that these are all positive answers. He's loving it. I can see how this can really help him with his focus and confidence. Well, look, if this is something you want to do at this point, would you be interested in saving money if you want him to continue? That's a yes answer. Well, if I want him to continue, yes, I would like to know how I can save money. And then we would go into the special at that point. Okay. So.
Metz, I might write a book.
Okay.
We're going to write a book.
One?
I was going to write, oh boy, here we go. The Way of the Cobra Kai. Although just Way of the Cobra. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Herb Perez dropped this off last night.
Is that right?
So I'll take a gander.
He's in town?
Anyway, he is in town.
Jeez, you got Olympic.
Mike Chat will be here Mike Chat will be here Monday. Mike Swain will be here Tuesday.
Wow.
Yes. When you're cool like us, people just flock in and visit.
That's right. No, I was going to write a book on all the things I learned from Mike Metzger. It won't be a long book, but I'm going to write the book. I mean,
right. It'll be short and it won't be a bestseller.
It'll be like 10 bullet points with four bullet points each.
And 4 chapters.
That's in 4 chapters. Pages. That's right. But yes, with 4 forwards.
Are the savings the same as discussed during the 5-day lead series? Task, go ahead and answer that.
I would if I understood the question.
Are the savings the same? Well, if you're talking about if someone enrolls and they paid for a summer special, they did not apply the summer special.
Yeah.
if that's the question there.
Well, yeah, whatever they paid for the trial, you credit that to them.
Hey, here's the deal, guys. Listen, is there 33 watching, or is it 330 and I can't see the 0?
Could be.
But for those of you watching, listen to me. I was talking to my team about this yesterday, and I'll talk to them about it today. I have a different executive meeting here today with the execs here. But there's a wave. We're riding a wave right now. And and I said this to you guys a couple months ago, if you're not capitalizing on this wave, it's going to slow down. That wave is going to crest eventually, and then we're going to just have to work a little harder. But when I tell you that there's the people in our circle, the people in the Maya world, right? And by the way, not just the Maya world, but I only know the CMA schools, the CMA affiliates around the country, in Canada, the Maya elite clients around the country. And they're as a whole, we're hitting numbers that we've never hit before. I mean, it is absolute craziness right now. And you got to dial this in and figure it out if you're not hitting them, right? Especially the majority of you are owner operators. You are working in your school. And if you are an owner working in your school, there is no reason why you shouldn't be absolutely crushing it right now. Now, I do know Canada still has some strict policies in place, and yeah, there's obstacles. But I said, as a whole, we're seeing numbers that we haven't seen. I mean, this is not uncommon now. We have tests. I mean, you know this. We have clients that are hitting, speaking business, 6 figures a month consecutively, like over 100,000 a month.
And to be clear, that's cash in the bank, not contract value for some of you that think it's contract value.
Yeah, that's deposits in the bank, right? Right, exactly right. Not contract amount. I mean, and there's reasons why. And by the way, they're not teaching any different quality than they were teaching before. I mean, where your quality goes down, or where it could go down, is when we get 35 white belts in one class and we don't recognize that as a problem. The money grab would be, you know what, I have 60 white belts in class and I'm not fixing the problem, right? That's where it becomes watered down potentially, but that's not how we operate. We fix that problem, right? Go ahead, Tass.
We may have mentioned this is a whole nother call. We may have mentioned this at some point, but I just had this thought process. I mean, who do you think teaches a better class? The successful school owner who generates more revenue and doesn't have to worry about bills and lifestyle and family, or the stressed out business owner that goes to flip on the light switch and is surprised when the lights actually go on because they didn't pay their bill? How can you be in a right mindset to teach great classes? And some of you may say, well, because we're martial artists and we can be able to do that. We can we cinch our belt and we say mind, body, spirit, and I step on the floor and I relieve everything that can happen for the day. I mean, all those are great in theory, but at the end of the day, life has challenges, life has problems. And what I was thinking about, I said this the other day on one of our things. And I remember when I was on the floor, when I hit my first $30,000 or $35,000 a month, I remember teaching and looking in the mirror and I'm like, dang, man, this is got to be 20 years ago, right? I hit $30,000 a month and I get to do what I love to do. And I'm in my pajamas teaching and this is so much fun, right? And it changed, and it may sound shallow to some of you, but it changed my identity and gave me a sense of confidence. I remember having this surge of energy and just teaching better classes because I want to provide that value to my students. So I just think it's interesting sometimes when we hear people having these big, super big, months and the gross revenue, they must be McDojos and their classes must be horrible. Yeah, they can be in some cases, right? Depends on the type of person they are. But for a lot of people, I think when they're that successful, their game is on, it's sharp. And I would visit those schools before you make those comments because it takes you have to have a lot of business systems in place and a very structured system in your martial arts school. When you have big numbers, you can't haphazard it and get away with it. It just doesn't work. And so therefore, while the bigger schools that are doing those types of numbers, you see a lot of structure and you see a lot of great students in those schools. Anyway, that was my 2 cents.
Agree. So there it is, guys. Summer's here. You know what? It's funny. As soon as some summer hit, our viewership went down a little, Tass.
Yeah, I know.
We may get canceled, actually. But it could be because a lot of these school owners are running their camps.
That could be. That could be.
Or it could be we just are boring them.
We suck.
It could be that too. Could absolutely be that.
Well, it's finally summer. Finally, check this out. Summer finally hit Wisconsin. So yesterday, it was like 80-some degrees, right? Which I know in Florida is pretty normal. But listen to these numbers: 84 today, 90 tomorrow, 94, 91, 91, 89, 85, 84, 82. Finally, we hit summer in Wisconsin.
Dude, what's the low at night?
The low is 66, 66, 60, 55, 55, 56, 59, 62.
That's beautiful.
Open the windows, get a breeze.
That's beautiful, beautiful. You're actually going to be hotter than us this week than in Orlando.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Well, my wife and her sister and Addie's at Aquatica today, the water park.
Oh, very fun. Yeah, water's still a little cold around here. It's hot weather-wise, but the water's still cool. So,
well, there it is, guys. And by the way, hey, everyone, listen, there is, yes, Amanda Doherty, I'm in Orlando. It's hot here. Yes, it is hot. It's going to be high 80s, but Ford always feels hotter with this humidity. August 6th and 7th, everyone, our next level summit, August 6th and 7th. Only 20 schools can attend. I don't know how many are enrolled yet. I don't know the answer. I'm going to know in a half an hour when I meet with the team. But it's at our World Training Center. It's 2 days, August 6th and 7th. It's $199 per school. That is not per person. It is per school. But I believe you can bring 2 people. I think that's the max, I think. But if you're interested, here it is. Yeah, here it is. Once it's full, it's full. But because we're not doing it, as I mentioned, in a hotel room somewhere or a hotel ballroom, we're doing it in our World Training Center in one of our martial arts schools, because we want to cover things to launch you into the back to school time, but have you watch a mass intro live. We're going to be doing mass intros on the 7th. That's Saturday morning. And when we start the event, we're going to be going over all the details of the mass enrollment and then have you see it live from our conference room in our World Training Center. It's all windows. You'll be able to watch everything going on, and we'll be able to see the results. They're going to be enrolling people that day and that hour, but that's just 1 hour of the seminar. So August 6th and 7th, of course, I'm going to be there. Mr. Michael Perry, Ms. Shelby Kirkland will be there. Tass is potentially going to be there. We'll know. That's a last-minute deal. But would love to see you there August 6th and 7th. And I'm telling you, I promise you, it'll be one of the best investments you made in your school. It's going to cost you a plane ticket, 1 hotel night, and $199 to attend the event.
We've done these in the past in December, where we actually would take people into the holiday event, and the results were phenomenal, right? Sometimes when you hear things, it's hard for you to visualize. And when people saw the holiday event and what it was, and saw the people in the program director and the instructor in the offices, and enrolling people and upgrading people and renewing people, and what the floor looked like and how it was set up, they went back and crushed their holiday event, because now they have the visual and the understanding of it. So when you see first of all, you're going to see a beautiful martial arts school. You're going to be in the school. You're going to see a mass intro live. And when you see that, it's going to give you the confidence to go back, because now you understand the visual, what it's supposed to look like, sound like, be like, and you go back and you can crush it. I mean, if all you did was go back and do a mass intro, be excited about doing a mass intro and say, you know what, I'm going to do a mass intro, and you got 7 people to show up for a mass intro and you signed up 5 of them, you just paid for your entire trip. I mean, that's the power of doing these things in person, is you get to really see it visually, which is awesome.
Yep, it is visual. I mean, visual. No matter how much you hear about it, seeing it live, like he said, is a huge difference.
Very powerful. Yep.
And hey, we appreciate it. I mean, we're trying. We're trying. I mean, I could be at Aquatica right now on water slides, but I'm not. I'm here for our industry. You know what I mean, Tass?
Didn't you get kicked out of aquatic because you wore the Speedo?
But yeah, that probation period ended 2 weeks ago.
So you're back in.
Yeah, I'm back in. I could have went, but
Good.
Anyway, all right. Well, Tass, it's good to see you. It's good to see our family here, and we will be back next week.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Good luck and ride the wave. Go crush it. Talk to everyone soon.
All right. Bye-bye. See you next. Thanks.